Detroit, often called the Motor City, is one of the most fascinating and complex cities in American history. Its story is one of ambition, innovation, struggle, and resilience. From the rise of the automobile industry to the sounds of Motown, from economic collapse to urban revival, Detroit's journey reflects the triumphs and challenges of the United States itself. Long before factories and cars defined its identity, the land along the Detroit River was home to Native American tribes, including the Anishinaabe and Potawatomi peoples. In 1701, a French explorer named Antoine de la Motte Cadillac founded Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit, giving the city its name, which means the strait in French. Over the next century, control of Detroit passed between the French, British, and finally the Americans after the Revolutionary War. In the 19th century, Detroit grew into a regional center for trade and manufacturing. Thanks to its strategic location between the Great Lakes, it became a hub for shipping, ironworks, and stove production, earning the nickname the City of the Straits. But its true transformation began in the early 20th century with the rise of the automobile industry. Visionaries like Henry Ford revolutionized transportation and industry itself. In 1908, Ford introduced the Model T, a car that ordinary Americans could afford. By perfecting the moving assembly line, he made mass production faster and cheaper. This innovation not only transformed Detroit but changed the world. Soon, other giants like General Motors and Chrysler set up headquarters in the city, turning Detroit into the beating heart of the American automotive industry. The auto boom brought hundreds of thousands of workers to Detroit. Immigrants from Europe and migrants from the American South arrived in search of jobs and a better life. African Americans fleeing racial violence in the South found opportunity here during the Great Migration, reshaping the city's culture and identity. Detroit's population exploded, and by the 1952, it was the fourth largest city in the United States. Prosperity filled Detroit's neighborhoods. The city became known for its beautiful architecture, grand boulevards, and vibrant communities. Middle-class families thrived, and Detroit symbolized the American dream. But beneath the success were growing social and racial tensions. Segregation, inequality, and unfair housing practices created divisions that would later erupt into conflict. In the 1962, Detroit was again at the center of cultural change, this time through music. Motown Records, founded by Berry Gordy in 1959, brought the sound of Black America to the world. Artists like Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, and The Temptations created timeless hits that crossed racial barriers and defined a generation. Motown gave Detroit a new identity, not just as a city of machines, but as a city of soul. However, the latter half of the 20th century brought immense challenges. The rise of automation, competition from foreign car makers, and the movement of factories to the suburbs and overseas devastated Detroit's economy. Jobs disappeared, and the city's population declined sharply. In 1967, a violent uprising erupted after years of racial discrimination and police tension. The Detroit riot was one of the deadliest in American history, leaving lasting scars on the city's social fabric. Over the next few decades, Detroit faced economic collapse, abandoned homes, unemployment, and crime plagued the city. By 2013, Detroit became the largest U.S. city ever to declare bankruptcy, a shocking symbol of industrial decline. For many, it seemed the Motor City's engine had finally stopped. But Detroit's story did not end there. Out of the ruins came renewal. Artists, entrepreneurs, and local communities began working to rebuild. New industries like technology, design, and renewable energy started taking root. Downtown and Midtown saw new businesses, restaurants, and cultural spaces open. The auto industry, though smaller, reinvented itself with electric vehicles and innovation at its core. The spirit of Detroit hard work, creativity, and resilience began to shine again. Murals and art projects transformed once abandoned buildings into expressions of hope. Startups and young professionals moved back, drawn by affordable space and opportunity. Neighborhoods that had been forgotten are slowly coming back to life. Today, Detroit stands as a powerful symbol of resilience and reinvention. The city that once built cars for the world is now building ideas for the future. Innovation hubs and creative industries have taken root in spaces once left empty. From automotive technology to urban farming and sustainable design, Detroit is reimagining what an American city can be in the 21st century. Cultural life is thriving once again. Festivals, art fairs, and concerts fill the streets with energy. The Detroit Institute of Arts, one of the nation's premier museums, continues to inspire visitors from around the world. Sports remain a deep part of the city's identity, with the Tigers, Lions, Pistons, and Red Wings uniting fans in both joy and heartbreak. Detroit's people have also redefined community. Grassroots organizations and local leaders have worked tirelessly to restore neighborhoods, preserve historic buildings, and create opportunities for future generations. The city's comeback is not without struggle, but it carries a sense of determination that defines Detroit's spirit. Today, when you walk through downtown or along the riverfront, you can feel that spirit everywhere in the murals, the music, and the faces of people rebuilding their home with pride. Detroit's skyline is once again rising, not from the power of corporations alone, but from the strength of its people. From its French colonial roots to the rise of the auto industry, from the soul of Motown to the challenges of decline and rebirth, Detroit's story is one of transformation. It is a reminder that even in the hardest times, renewal is possible. The Motor City may have stumbled, but it never stopped moving. Its rhythm continues, a rhythm of innovation, perseverance, and hope. Detroit's journey is far from over, but one thing is certain: the heart of this city still beats strong.